to order the board of directors.
Okay, now.
I want to start over again. It's 3 o'clock, so I'm calling to order the board of directors regular meeting for Thursday, Monday.
21st.
Thank you, March 21st. Nancy, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you have some words.
Words of wisdom. We ask the Heavenly Father in thy infinite wisdom to guide the members of this board in such a way that all their thoughts, endeavors, and actions will be made for the betterment of the entire community. We also beseech thee to protect our country from all conflicts, both foreign and domestic.
Amen.
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 We have a roll call, please.
Director Grasha.
Here.
Director Sewell.
Here.
Director Duncan.
Here.
Vice President Wright.
Here.
President Martin.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Mr. Pinckney, could you read the rules of procedure, please?
Yes, according to the rules of procedure adopted by the Board of Directors, all notice meetings are conducted using Rosenberg's Rules of Order as a procedural guideline. Directors should refrain from responding directly to public comments at meetings of the board. The president is responsible for the maintenance of order and decorum at all board meetings. No person should be allowed to speak who has not first been recognized by the president. No member of the board should speak more than once upon any one subject until every other member of the board wishing to speak on the subject shall have been given an opportunity to speak. No board member shall interfere with the orderly progress of a board meeting. The board president regulates the amount of time to be dedicated to a particular agenda item.
Okay, thank you. Public input. This is the opportunity for members of the public to address the board on matters within the board's jurisdiction. Please limit comments to 3 minutes or less. State law prohibits the board from discussing or taking action on any item not listed on the agenda. Do we have any public comments that are not related to an agenda item?
Yes, President Martin, we do. I'm going to start first with Ashley Metzger is here from DWA. Ashley, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Dory, and members of the board. Just wanted to give you a quick update. We held a public hearing on March 15th, at which time we recommended an additional public hearing on April 5th for map adoption for our maps for the 2022 election. Our board has whittled down the field from 9 different maps down to 2. So now we're looking at what we have labeled on our website as map 2.1 and map 4.1. The maps and the associated demographic information are available on our website, dwa.org/divisions. We are still accepting map drafts from members of the public and map comments. So any additional feedback, comments, thoughts are welcome from your constituency or your organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Any other public comments?
Yes, sir. I do have some public comment that I am going to read into record. This is coming from customer Michael Poss regarding the proposed construction of one of the largest distribution centers in DHS. This site would take 94 acres on the east side of Cali de los Ramos between 19th Avenue and 20th Avenue, north of Interstate 10. His questions are in 2 parts. Number 1, will this approved development permit for a 3 million square foot multi-story e-commerce warehouse by the DHS Planning Commission have a negative effect on our aquifer water table? The proposed project is anticipated to be occupied by a single tenant, according to documents submitted by Seafrid Incorporated. What concerns me is who will this new tenant be that will take a large portion of this warehouse, since the DHS city documents do not show the potential tenant. And yet the Planning Commission voted 3-2 on the proposal without questioning what type of company will be using this site. and if this company would require a considerable amount of water in the Coachella Valley. Number 2, does MSWD have any say on this matter and concerns about this project and its effect on our water table? Thank you, Michael Poss.
Okay.
Just a comment. I think those are really good questions that a lot of public are going to be asking maybe eventually. So maybe we ought to have answers for those type of questions handy.
We can't discuss it today.
No, just asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
thanks.
It's in the process. All those
Mr. Wallem, your mic, please.
Thank you.
We are still in the process, which usually is kicked off by the, approval by the planning commission. And we'll work our way through them.
Okay. I just thought we might be prepared.
We are pretty prepared.
Thank you,
Okay.
President Martin. That will conclude public input.
Okay, moving on to item 6, Human Resources Report.
All right. This is always such an enjoyable time for me and the board when we get to recognize, the staff and their accomplishments and their anniversaries, et cetera. And today, I'm going to start out with 2 new hires that I don't believe you have been introduced yet. First is a gentleman, Chad Finch, who joins us as water production and maintenance foreperson. I really enjoyed meeting him. It was fun to talk to him in the interview process. Before joining, Chad was a local water systems consultant with more than 25 years of experience in the water industry. He has managed and operated and consulted with more than 30 water systems within Riverside County. So that brings, and he's a certified treatment 2 and a distribution 3 operator. Chad brings a wealth of knowledge. He's a professional, I can tell. And we are very proud to have him on our team. And with that, I think Brian is going to say a few things also or introduce Chad.
Thank you, General Manager Willem. Yes, I first met Chad back in, I believe it was probably 2016 when I was with India Water Authority, and we were looking for some assistance in our strong-based ion exchange sampling system. Even though we decided to keep that work in-house and not use Chad's company, I was very impressed with his professionalism. So when I saw his name come up as a potential hire for this position, we were very excited and glad that we worked through the process and glad that he's with us. Chad, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Fantastic. Do you have any words to say to the board at this time?
It's just a pleasure to be able to be part of the team. And so I want to thank you for allowing me to be part of it. And I look forward to seeing what the future holds and just seeing what I can do to help with the water system here.
All right. Thank you. Good to have you on board, Chad.
Thank you.
Okay, next, Manuel Gomez. He comes to us as the Field Operations Technician 1. He has 4 years of experience in the water maintenance and distribution world. Manuel holds a certificate in metal fabrication. This is interesting. And welding from the Fab School, and is currently pursuing an Associate's of Science degree in water technology at Mount St. Jacinto College. We're getting very, very qualified people, and it really is exciting. Here to introduce him is Jeff Nutter.
Yeah, like Arden said, he does come with experience in the maintenance field, and from day one when he came aboard with MSWD, he has been nothing but a huge asset to the team of the department. And I think the future is very bright for Manuel in the construction and maintenance department, and we're glad to have him aboard. Manny, you have anything to say?
Yes, sir. I just want to say thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. It's a pleasure being here with MSWD, and I can't wait to see what the future holds here for me. Thank you, guys.
Welcome, Manuel, and it's good to have you on board.
Thank you, sir.
All right, then we're going to shift now to anniversaries. And we honor these anniversaries. Today, we have 3 employees who together represent more than 55 years of service to the district and the customers that we serve. First, we'll start out with Teresa Murphy, who is an engineering technician. This is her 14th anniversary. And she helps with the engineering department, does tasks for the engineers. And I'm gonna let Eric Weck kind of introduce and tell you all about Teresa. I'm not sure Teresa is here today, but if she is, Eric, I'll let you introduce her.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Teresa's been here for 14 years and she's served Mission Springs Water District and its customers. During that time, she initially served in the customer service department, and now she's been working in the engineering department as an engineering technician. Although this is not a comprehensive list of her many duties, her responsibilities include contract management. She performs inspections for Mission Springs Water District and the capital projects, as well as development projects. She's a GIS specialist. She performs numerous fire flow requests on a weekly basis. She responds to requests for information and maintains and keeps a close track of engineering department expenses, as well as she is also licensed as a distribution operator level 2. So Teresa is an invaluable part and an irreplaceable part of the engineering department, and I commend her for her 14 years of exemplary service to the district. Back to you.
Okay, Teresa is not with us today, but she should be back here by the end of the month, I'm hearing.
Next Monday.
Okay, so next we have a big one here, 20 years of service, and most of you know this person. Carol Morin is an outstanding individual, and I'm going to start out to say that the one thing that I want to emphasize with Carol is not only is she an exemplary employee for the district, she is involved in the community. She's out on weekends and nights and helps us and helps Marion put this all together. She primarily supports our public affairs efforts, serves on some multiple committees. She has been driving force with our new blood drives, which we've been very successful with. Carol is a joy to have in the office and always willing to help when others need help. And she's been a lot of fun. To introduce Carol is Marion.
Thank you, General Manager. Carol, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, as Arden said, is a joy to have in the office. No matter what task has been given to her, she always finds a way to do it with a smile. She brings a great energy to the office and is always the first person to help organize a birthday or an employee event. Known affectionately around town as the Water Lady, Carol is an active member of the Desert Hot Springs community, acting as an ambassador for the organization everywhere she goes. And don't let her 20 years fool you. There's no moss growing under Carol. She enjoys learning new ways of doing things, embraces new technology, and is always willing to lend a helping hand. We are very fortunate to have Carol on our team. She sends her regrets. She wasn't unable to be here today, but she wanted me to pass along just how much she enjoys working at MSWD. She says she's very thankful for her job and that she enjoys coming to work every day and will continue to serve her community the best she can. She added, and I quote, "I consider everyone at MSWD my second family." Thank you.
Thanks, Marion. That was good. Yes, it's good. Next, another person we all know started out in the facilities maintenance, and he has more. Mark Vermeer has been here for 21 years. He transferred to our wastewater plant in 2017 and designed an innovative gadget to help the wastewater team derag pumps of all those flushable wipes that have caused us so many problems. The wastewater treatment team has coined it the Markinator 3000. Okay, and here to introduce Mark, and I know Mark very well too, and spent sometimes on our off time together. He's really a true professional. So here's Lee Boyer to introduce Mark.
Thank you, General Manager Wallen. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to have Mark in the department since 2017. He's, learned the ropes. He's actually been training our youngest operator who's had no experience, spent day-to-day operations with them since August. So he's a pleasure to have on staff. Mark?
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you to the board and to General Manager Wallen. I love my job. I love coming to work every day. I learn something new every day, and it's sometimes it's challenging, and other times it makes me really want to try to help out my fellow employees. The guys have really helped me out a lot lately due to a past injury, and I want to thank them also. But other than that, I'm grateful for my job, and I hope to continue to serve the water district in the future.
Can I just say one thing that they
Sure.
didn't mention about Mark is that gadget or whatever that he made, he also won an award from our insurance company, JPIA.
He did.
He did, yes, for that.
Nancy and I were
that
sitting there
invention.
thinking, wow, good job, Mark.
Thank you.
Yes, my compliments, Mark, and it has been so much fun working with you these last 17 years since you've been here longer than me. So thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right. Next, we have 3 promotions. And we're going to celebrate these. This is especially important right now as the agency struggles with, to find really good quality employees. So promoting from within keeps productivity and retention rates high. And we have a lot of talented people on board that we're able to promote. The first is Andy Grunnett, our lead wastewater treatment plant operator, formerly wastewater treatment plant operator 2. Andy has been employed with MSWD for over 5 years. During this time, Andy has twice performed as the interim lead. Recently, he took on the leadership role, writing operating procedures, leading training activities, and managing the wastewater staff workload. And I've always been excited about how Andy is going to grow in this district, and we're really proud to have him. Lee is going to introduce Andy.
Thank you, General Manager Wallen. A while back, a year and a half ago, so Andy stepped up and took the interim position while Chris was getting well with his issues. He hit the ground running then, and when the opportunity came up again 4 or 5 months ago, he says, yeah, I'll do it again. And it's been a great help to me having Andy be the lead. He's taken some things off my plate that I don't have to worry about the day-to-day. I can focus on the more big picture things. I thank Andy every day for all the stuff he does for me and for the department, and keeps the balls rolling. So Andy.
Thank you guys, and it's a pleasure to be here. We've got a great team, and we're to keep on moving forward. But thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy. And it's really good to have you on board. I'm proud of you, my friend. Okay, next, Jason Weekly, also promoted to our lead field operations technician. Formerly, he was the operations technician 2. Jason has shown outstanding leadership in the construction and maintenance department since he started here in 2020, in April of 2020. As a result, Jason has been put into the interim leadership position, or was put into the interim in October of 21, and continues to perform that duty very well. Here to introduce him is again Jeff Nutter.
Thanks, Arden. Yeah, Jason's been another warm welcome to the team. He's been doing an awesome job leading the crews out there on a day-to-day basis. I'm really surprised on the things that he catches on to really, really quick, and how the team is, use them for advice He has recently passed his D3 as well. So he's in the process of waiting for his certificate to come in the mail on that. So congratulations on that, Jason. And, you know, he helps me every day. You know, I can't thank him enough for everything he does. So, Jason, thank you. And if you want to say something, have at it.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to my colleagues and my peers and then the board of directors, Mr. Walden. It's a great opportunity, and I look forward to expanding my knowledge, not only in water and construction maintenance, but also the infrastructure here at MSWD, so I can be a better asset to us and serve our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. It's good to have you on board and taking that leadership role. You'll do great. And finally, but not least, is someone else that we're very proud of, and that's Tim Owens. And he has been promoted to Water Production Operator 2. Tim has been with MSWD since 2018, was formerly the Water Production Operator 1. As a result, he knows the water system better and better than most anyone on the staff. His knowledge and can-do attitude have been an enormous asset to the department and MSWD. Again, we're going to have Chad Finch introduce him and tell us a few things about him.
Well, I've only known him for now just under 2 months, but in that short period of time, it's been a pleasure to get to know him, and it's exciting to see him continue to advance in his career pursuits and to have him promoted to this Water Production Operator 2 position. So it's good to celebrate with him, and I look forward to seeing him continue to progress. He's been a help to me as I've been learning the system, learning all the well sites and locations and everything. I know I can always call him and ask a question, and he always has an answer for me. So I appreciate his help and being part of the team. So Tim, do you have anything that you would like to say?
I just want to say thanks, to the board, for giving me the opportunity to work here, and to the manager Wallen. It's a great time being here, and we all work as a team on a daily basis, and we just have more room to keep growing. So I look forward to it.
Thank you, Tim. Wow, that concludes the HR report today. They just all they're very articulate and very professional. I'm really excited about our staff. And thanks to the board of directors for taking this moment to recognize the staff and get to meet them. So that is all that I have, President.
Okay.
Martin.
I also want to extend my congratulations to all the people who were honored here today. And, we talk about our most valuable resource being water. I'd like to add an addendum to that in my view, the most valuable resource is also the men and women who work here. And without them, we wouldn't be able to provide that life-affirming beverage known as water. So congratulations. Moving on to item 7, Resolution 2022-03, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Mission Springs Water District proclaiming a local emergency persists, re-ratifying the proclamation of a state of emergency by executive order N as in Nora -09-21, and reauthorizing remote teleconference meetings of the legislative bodies of the Mission Springs Water District for the period of March 23rd through April 22nd. That's a pretty self-explanatory resolution. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Mr. Grasha?
No questions, just move the item.
Okay.
I'll second. Did he move it? Did he say?
Yes, he
He did,
I'll
yes.
second it.
Before we go on to that, okay. I have a motion and a second. Additional discussion. Does anybody else want to make a comment on that? Okay. All right. Could you have a roll call vote, please?
Director Grasha.
Yes.
Director Sewell.
Yes.
Director Duncan.
Yes.
Vice President Wright.
Yes.
President Martin.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for the Mission Springs Water Redistricting 2022. I have a procedural document I have to read. This is the time and place fixed to solicit the public's input in respect to the approval of preferred map option number 2 and corresponding ordinance number 2022-01. The public hearing will be declared open and legal counsel will give their report. I will then call for comments from the public. During this time, there will be no back and forth conversation between the public and the board and staff. All questions will be noted and will be addressed after all public comments have been received. The public hearing will then be closed and the board may have a discussion if necessary. I declare this public hearing open. Secretary's report, please.
Notice of public hearing was posted to the Desert Sun on February 4th and February 11th, 2022. Additionally, public outreach campaigns, both paid and unpaid, were made on all of MSWD's social media channels, notifying the public of today's hearing. As of this afternoon, there have been no protests on this item.
Okay, we have a staff report from Misty Calder of SBEMP.
Would you like me to read the staff report?
Yes.
Okay. Staff recommendation on this is recommend the board adopt preferred map option 2 and corresponding ordinance number 2002-01. Background: every 10 years, local governments like Mission Springs Water District uses new census data to redraw their district lines to reflect how local populations have changed. This process, called redistricting, is important to ensure that each board member represents about the same number of constituents. The board is responsible for adopting boundaries for director divisions following the federal decennial census. On December 20th, 2021, the board conducted an initial public hearing to receive public testimony on the proposed maps and provided direction to staff and the board's demographer, consultant David Eli. On February 22nd, 2022, the board conducted a second public hearing. Attached as Exhibit A is the notice of public hearings that ran in the Desert Sun newspaper covering the public hearings for this afternoon. Discussion: consultant David Eli joined us at the February 22nd, 2022 public hearing to review and provide input on 2 map options and demographic detail, map option 1 and map option 2, which is attached as Exhibit B to this staff report. The map ultimately adopted by the board must comply with both state and federal law. Section 22000 of the Election Code requires that director divisions be substantially equal in population, i.e. population deviation between districts is less than 10%, and that division boundaries comply with the United States Constitution, the California Constitution, and the Federal Voting Rights Act of 1965. In addition, the Election Code provides that in adjusting the boundaries of the divisions, the board may give consideration to the following factors. Number 1, topography. 2, geography. 3, cohesiveness, contiguity, integrity, and compactness of territory. And 4, community of interest of the division. In addition, boundaries shall not be drawn to favor or discriminate against a political party or incumbent. The change of boundaries shall not affect the unexpired term of office of any elected board member. Following the public hearing on February 22nd, 2022, and after receiving no public comments or revisions, the board expressed a preference for map option 2. Attached as Exhibit C for board review and approval is an ordinance finalizing the adoption of map option 2. And obviously the meeting histories, the first initial public hearing was December 20th, 2021, and the second public hearing was February 22nd, 2022.
Thank you. Moving on to public comments. I understand that we do not have any comments online, but we have a written comment, Dory, is that correct?
Not regarding the maps, no.
We're not recording the maps. Okay.
I do
Is there-
have a member of the public on the line. Pamela, do you care to make public comment on this item?
No, I'm just here to listen.
Excellent, thank you. And I do also have Council Member Jan Pai on the line. Jan, do you care to make public comment on this item?
No, thank you.
Thank you. No public comment, President Martin.
Okay. Are there any questions by staff or board members?
I have a question or two.
Okay, Mr. Scratcha.
You know, I look at these things again and again every time we have a meeting, and I don't see any difference, but there's substantial difference, you know, any real difference. It seems like this is just a carryover of what we did a few years ago. And if I'm wrong about that, somebody jump on screen because I'm not seeing it. And we had a population growth of about 6,000 new citizens in our area. And, you know, when I was looking at what's going on in other districts, and I asked myself, how can you change your districts and not alienate some, you know, disenfranchise a certain number of voters? And I wonder if it's even mathematically or statistically possible to do that without disenfranchisement, and if there's a way to calculate what the minimum number would be. I didn't do that well in math, and I know this is a math question, so maybe somebody can figure out a way to answer that. So if not, fine, I'm ready to vote, but it just seems like it's not possible to do this without a little disenfranchisement. And I wonder if that's true. I guess that's my question.
I believe that David Eli, our demographer, is on this Zoom call today. So maybe he would be in a position to be able to answer that question for you.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Mr. Eli?
Yes. The basic answer to your question, I think, is that the changes that are proposed here are about the minimum that are required to bring the districts within the allowable deviation. So basically the only changes are that District 5 is picking up one little neighborhood from District 2 and one little neighborhood from District 3 to bring all three of those districts within the required numbers. Districts 1 and 4 were already virtually ideal in their population. And so I'm not sure what right now I don't remember what the sequence of elections is, but I believe that District 5 is going to be up this year. Is that correct?
And 1, 5 and 1, I believe.
Yeah, so all of these changes will have the effect of moving people's election forward. So people from District 3 will now be in District 5, so they'll be able to vote this year. People in District 2 will now be in 5, so they'll be able to vote this year. And we don't have anyone who's moving the other direction.
Okay, and is it your feeling that this is because each district or division grew in population at about the same rate? It seems like that had to have happened for this to play out the way it is. Is that right, or do you know?
Yeah, that's roughly correct. I mean, District 5 grew a little bit less than the others, and Districts 2 and 3 grew a little bit more than the others, and so the movement that's here balances that difference in growth.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
Sure.
May I ask a question? This is Pamela.
Yes, Pamela, go ahead.
How does one find out what district they're in? Because I have a feeling a lot of people don't really know where they are.
President Martin, Marion Champion can answer that question.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Pamela. We do have an interactive map on our website. So if a customer wanted to go to our website, they could go to our district voting area. They can type in their address and it will tell them which district they belong to. We also, right now, we have it for our current maps, but we also have it available for our proposed maps as well. So they can see what their current map is and they can compare it to what the proposed maps as well. So we have both options right now on our website.
Thank you, Marion.
And I'd be happy to send you a link to that directly if you'd like.
Oh, thank you so very, very much.
Okay, is there any additional public comments?
No, sir.
Okay, at this point, I hereby declare the public hearing closed. Is there additional comments from the board?
No.
Vice President Wright?
No.
Sewell? Randy?
No.
Okay. And with that, it is recommended that the board adopt preferred map option 2 and corresponding ordinance number 2022-01.
So moved. I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Sewell and a second by Director Duncan. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Director Gracia.
Yes.
Director Sewell.
Yes.
Director Duncan.
Yes.
Vice President Wright.
Aye.
President Martin.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right. Moving on to item 9, accept audited financial statements for years ending June 30th, 2021. It's recommended to review and accept the audited financial statements as presented by Rogers, Anderson, Malady, and Scott, LLP. General Manager Wallem.
Thank you. It's a good audit. It's a clean one, but evidently there was a comment made regarding the audit delay that I think I need to clarify.
Right.
First, the audit is late this year, primarily because it was difficult to work during the pandemic. Both MSWD and the auditor did have personnel changes during this time, as did many people, but unrelated to each other. Let me make that very clear. It is improper for us to discuss any personnel action in an open session. And my door is always open to my directors if they have any questions or concerns. I've always been maybe too informative regarding most things, if I may say that, and discuss any questions that have been brought to me by any director. And if any director has a question, please just give me a call. Thank you. And the audit is clean, so that concludes my comments.
Okay. Is there any comments from our Vice President?
No, I ditto the clean audit. We always have a clean audit anyway. And I thought that this agency did a really fine job on it. This is their first time, correct? Yes, I believe so.
No, second.
Second time. Okay. Okay. So second time. So anyway, so I thought they did a really good job. And I'd like to thank them for all their hard work and also thank staff and Arturo, you too, you and your staff for doing all the work that's necessary to come up with an audit. Thanks.
It was difficult this year, and would like to mirror Nancy's compliments to the staff, particularly Arturo. He did a great job, and I'm very proud of our finance department.
Okay, Director Sewell.
Nothing further.
Director Duncan.
Yeah, it was a good audit. It's almost a letdown, like in the past where our grade was no opinion. It's like, oh, come on, really? After all that, no opinion? But that's a good score in CPA speak. So yeah. So other than that, no, it was a good report. I think Arturo did good prepping for it, and I like it.
Okay. Director Gracia.
I have no comment.
Okay. With that, I'll accept a motion to accept audited financial statements as presented by Rogers, Anderson, Malady, and Scott, LLP.
I so move.
You have a second, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice President Wright and a second by Director Duncan. Have a roll call vote, please.
Director Gracia.
No.
Director Sewell.
Yes.
Director Duncan.
Yes.
Vice President Wright.
Aye.
President Martin.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay. Item 10, Resolution 2022-04, adoption of the local hazard mitigation plan. Is recommended to adopt Resolution 2022-04, adopting the Mission Springs Water District Local Hazard Mitigation Plan. Mr. Wallum.
I don't, Brian, did you have anything additional that you wanted to say today?
No, we gave our staff report on Thursday. I have not received any questions from outside staff or outside customers. Therefore, Basaman, I have nothing more to add.
This is really fun to have a staff that puts a lot of effort into being prepared for these emergencies. And this is a component of what we need to have in place. And it's required if we're going to get any refunds or anything from FEMA. So we're just being sure that we were prepared for the emergencies that we will ultimately face.
Okay, is there any questions from Director Grosha?
No questions, thank you.
Okay. The rest of the board, any questions or comments?
I have just a comment.
Yes.
Just want to remind everybody it's for natural disasters only. And it's also, as Arden had said, it's necessary in order for us to apply for any FEMA grants if necessary during any natural disaster. Thank you.
Thank you.
Got to have the paperwork.
And so also move.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice President Wright and a second by Director Sewell. Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Director Grosha.
Yes.
Director Sewell.
Yes.
Director Duncan.
Yes.
Vice President Wright.
Aye.
President Martin.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to item 11. Award of a contract for emergency repair of 150 linear feet of 8-inch sewer line and 5 service connections on Acoma Avenue to Trico General Engineering Incorporated. Mr. Wallum.
Nothing to add. This is where I asked for forgiveness because we needed to take action immediately.
Okay.
I did not have any choice.
Is there any comments from the board?
Well, I'd just like to say, looking at the bids, it looks like we got a really good bid. So compared to the next bid.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have no comments from Director Duncan and Director Sewell. Director Grosha, do you have any comments?
No comment, just move the item.
Okay. You made the motion, is that correct?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Director
Grosha, you moved the item.
Yeah.
Second. Please.
Yeah, I can't see the agenda, so I can't
That's
read
okay.
it. So motion
Okay.
approved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
That was Director Duncan.
Thank you.
Have a roll call vote, please.
Director Grosha.
Yes.
Director Sewell.
Yes.
Director Duncan.
Yes.
Vice President Wright.
Aye.
President Martin.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to discussion items. Item 12, Mission Springs Water District Regional Water Reclamation Facility update.
I don't have anything to add other than I think Steve is doing a really good job of keeping the information flowing to the state, and hopefully we're going to get some more grant money.
Okay.
So I take it he didn't talk to anybody today, Steve? No.
We didn't. I haven't heard anything.
Well,
we didn't expect to hear. I'm going to be honest with you.
Thursday, he was gonna.
Well,
Okay, just want to make.
yeah.
Sure he didn't.
We were going to talk to him, but we didn't.
Okay, that's fine. No problem. Just thought I'd ask since he mentioned it on Thursday.
Do I have any questions or comments from the board on item 12?
One, yes.
Yes.
Do we have a tentative start date on this
Oh.
so we can do a groundbreaking and go public with it?
Well, the groundbreaking, and maybe I should let Brian is over engineering. If you want to take it, the start date is going to be April 4th. I just signed a letter today to the regional board notifying them, as is required by our permit, that we will actually start moving dirt on April 4th.
And as for a groundbreaking, we are working with some of the local officials to make sure that they're available. We've tentatively scheduled something for hopefully the first week of June, and we will let everyone know once that date has been established.
Yes, we are going to see things happening out there finally.
And the reason for the delay between moving dirt and the groundbreaking is because we're putting in a parking lot so that attendees can actually.
Absolutely.
Get there. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. Okay. All right. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay. The item 13, Critical Services Center and Administrative Building Update.
I'm assuming Brian did a great job on Thursday.
Did a
Is there
wonderful
anything additional?
Nothing more to add.
Any questions or comments from the board? Okay. Director Gracia, any comments?
Oh, no comment.
Okay. On the consent agenda, we have the approval of minutes for February 17th and February 22nd. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes or for those two meetings?
No.
Director Gracia, any changes or questions on it?
No.
Okay, all right. And the register of demands, item 15, register of demands totaling $1,681,751.21. Are there any questions or comments from the board? I see none. Director Gracia, any comment on the register of demands?
No comment.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Director Gracia,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Duncan,
Yes.
Vice President Wright,
Aye.
President Martin.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Moving on to item 16, we have a very nice thank you letter from Bubbling Wells Elementary School. Everybody had a chance to take a look at that.
I do have a question on that.
Sure.
I think on today's agenda, did it say Bella Vista Elementary?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and last week or on Thursday, it was Bubbling Wells Elementary?
I think it appeared the same way on both agendas. It was a mistake.
Yeah, I should have caught that myself. So good catch.
So it's Bubbling Wells, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And a second letter we got, to actually two documents that were sent by Carreri Homes LLC, praising our staff for the outstanding job they did in, I'll just read the text so that there's for clarity. You have demonstrated consistency of high quality service every time we've called. You've demonstrated with kind and respectful manner. As a builder and a customer, we highly value such a quality. Thank you to the management to have such quality person to help us move forward in building houses. Thank you. And that was on behalf of Jeannie D. Baver and Amy Barrow at the engineering department. Okay. Moving on to director's reports. Item 18. Nancy, did you go on?
No, the only thing I had was the Urban Water Institute, and I did that last month because I had just been there a couple days prior to that.
Okay. Ivan?
I had nothing to report.
Randy?
Yes, a couple things. 3. February 1st, DWA board meeting. Nothing pertained to us directly. They did, however, get several calls, and this is for our staff to watch out for. DWA got several calls. There was a scam to go out to shut off your water. And I think it's picking up like the Edison thing where give us a credit card number right now, or we're gonna, shut you off, kind of a thing. Fortunately, I don't believe anybody fell for it, but they did get several calls, people wanting to confirm. And of course, DWA said, no, don't pay it. It's, it's a scam. February 8th, CVWD board meeting. Nothing that pertained to us. I don't have any notes on there. Back to Desert Water Agency, February 15th. They got an update or a third amendment, actually, to the 2019 Sites Reservoir Project Agreement. That thing is massive. It includes the peripheral canal or the twin pipes or the single pipes or whatever they decide on. Their involvement in it is very, very expensive. I don't know how anybody's going to be able to afford to pay for that. And then along with Nancy, I reported February 17th on the Urban Water Institute board meeting. It was held the day before.
Okay. Director Grasha, do you have any report on any meetings you attended?
A couple of things. I too attended the Desert Water meeting regarding the sites project. They did just receive federal assurance of a $2.2 billion loan that will allow the project to get moving a long time before it was originally planned. And that is great news for the future of the Coachella Valley with the 6,500 acre feet annual inflow for the Coachella Valley when that project is completed. Also had a fabulous meeting, with a phone call, I should say, I guess. I had jumped out in front on this new warehouse that was originally to be planned to be put in Palm Springs and now is going to be located in Desert Hot Springs. I had a call from somebody from Amazon and asked for some kind of help with them to guide them through the process a little bit. And the conversation shifted toward things that they might do in the community, and was able to direct them to the Desert Age Project, where they made a $100,000 donation to the Steve Chase dinner last week. And I can tell you that that's a great thing for me to have experienced and been a part of. Steve was a friend of mine, worked together with him on probably 100 projects in the early days of my business career in the Coachella Valley, installing misting systems. I met him first sitting at the kitchen table of Joan Kroc in her kitchen. She was the founder's wife of McDonald's and was heavily involved in financing his career and the construction of many, many homes in the Thunderbird community in Rancho Mirage. It was a fabulous time in my life, and I'm honored to have been able to play a part in supporting the Desert Age Project the way Amazon was willing to do after that meeting. So with that, I would say one more thing. We have an MCL hearing coming up with the State Water Resource Control Board on April 5th. I would like somebody from this district, since I'll be leaving the board probably in November, somebody from the staff and at least one or two board members should participate in that meeting and become acquainted with the future of chromium-6 and the maximum contamination level that will have potentially dire effects on our agency. And it's an opportunity to get in front and start doing some proactive work and preventing the spread of disease throughout our system. It's something that I wish this board would have seen appropriate to do before this. I'm glad the state is stepping up and getting ready to force this agency to get involved in this issue. Look forward to having a report on that from one of our directors or two that might be able to attend, and our staff. Thank you.
Okay. I guess last but not least, to give my report. On the 1st of February, Desert Hot Springs City Council meeting, they made a budget adjustment for the police dispatch center. As you know, they did have a contract, I believe it was with Cathedral City, to handle the dispatching, and now they're moving it back into Desert Hot Springs. And I think that's a good move. I think you get better service by having a dispatch center that is exclusively Desert Hot Springs. So that was a good move. On the 3rd, the Desert Valley Builders Association legislative meeting, Todd Hooks, executive with the Agua Caliente Band of Kuya Indians, was selected as president of the board of directors. On the 8th, Riverside County Board of Supervisors, it was refreshing that there were very few comments on the COVID mask mandates. Now the emphasis appeared to be on short-term rental ordinance. Also, the first installment of the American Rescue Plan involving low-income housing, childcare, education, and employment. And there was denial of a conditional use permit for 72-acre cannabis farm. On the 9th, attended the DVBA Public Works seminar presentation by Ryan Cadrell of the law firm Slovak Barron, MP, Murphy, and Pinckney, our law firm. He did an excellent job. And he was giving a presentation on new employment laws and issues of concern for 2022, including revised Cal OSHA temp standards. Like I said, it was a good presentation. On the 15th, attended city council meeting, first public hearing on the transition from at-large election to by districting. They had a planning commission appointment. Chris Wagstaff is the new planning commissioner, and the new chair is Richard Duffel. They increased the stipend for planning commissioners and public safety commissioners from $50 to $100. That's better than when I was on the board. We didn't get any stipend for that.
I got 50, and that was before I got on this board.
Yeah.
Almost 15 years ago.
Well,
Director Duncan, your mic.
Yeah. The 16th and 17th, the Urban Water Institute. I don't know what I can add that hasn't already been said about the Urban Water Institute, except there was a new phrase. It was a presentation actually, but it was something that a new term that I hadn't heard before in reference, and that they had a presentation on what they called the Black Swan event. And that's the impact of an unanticipated catastrophic event that significantly changes our way of life. And they gave examples like the Twin Towers attack, COVID, significant drought event. And I had never heard that term, a Black Swan event, before. It was a first day, as Vice President Wright alluded to, was much better than the second day. There was presentations by smaller water district, Norwalk Municipal Water District, and the city of Sierra Madre and Paramount, rather than the typical large major water districts that generally dominate conferences like that. So all in all, first day was good. Second day was eh. And on the 24th, Desert Valley Builders Association Board Installation Dinner of Todd Hooks as the new president of the board. And I was kind of surprised they gave me a special award. I'm not exactly clear on what it was, but they seemed to be very like my work with the board of directors. So that was a nice surprise. There were three the tribal, I attended the Agua Caliente Water Authority board meeting. There were 3 water production permits issued for 6,240 acre feet per year for 5 years. And that concludes my report. Moving on to item 19, General Manager's Report.
I've asked President Martin to let us have Marion make her presentation today because she, as part of her presentation, she's going to explain to us the new drought restrictions. So take it away, Marion.
You're muted.
Thank you. I apologize for that. I'm going to share with you a quick PowerPoint presentation that talk a little bit about what we've done in the last month. So bear with me one moment. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Great. It's officially event season, and while COVID may have slowed us down at the beginning of the year, the Valley's event schedule is moving along quickly. During the month of March, we have and we will sponsor and attend several notable community events, including the recent Desert Hot Springs Women's Club Fashion Show, which the event program alone raised more than $6,000 for local scholarships. Other notable events this month include the Senior Inspiration Awards, the Air Museum's fundraiser, and the opening ceremonies of the Desert Hot Springs Little League. We also will have our first set of Water 101 workshops. And if you do have anyone who would like to attend those, we do have a few seats available, so you can send them my way. Another very special event taking place on March 31st is the Desert Hot Springs Rotary Big Hearts Awards, which will honor, among others, our very own Dory Pete for her dedication and service to the Desert Hot Springs community. Speaking of events, we also have two new items that I wanted to highlight. First, as you know, our February blood drive was very successful, so successful that we have committed to holding quarterly events for the rest of the year. I will be sending all of you a save the date flyer within the next week. However, we have scheduled the Bloodmobile on May 11th, July 13th, and September 14th. The July 13th date is extra special as all blood donated on that day will be part of the 9 Cities Challenge and will be counted towards the Desert Hot Springs tallies. This is a great way for us to give back to others and show our support for the Desert Hot Springs community. I also wanted to draw your attention to a special Earth Day event we are partnering with Cabot's Museum to host on Saturday, April 23rd. Museum admission will be free that day to members of the public, and programming will include learning about bug habitat, creating art through recycling, and a visit with a master gardener who will provide information and tips to incorporate desert-friendly landscaping. We will also have a special MSWD booth to talk about our water and the services we provide. I will have flyers available in the next week, and we will be advertising and promoting this event around town and on social media. So hopefully some of you will be able to come out and join us as well. And as we mentioned, I did want to also give you a bit of a drought update. We've had the driest January and February in more than 100 years. And the Department of Water Resources just conducted its 3rd snow survey. Statewide snowpack that was at 154% of average on July 1 now has dwindled to just 63% of average. If the March forecasts continue to unfold as predicted, the state will set yet another record, this time for the driest 3-month stretch in winter. With these sobering statistics in hand, the Department of Natural Resources has revised down the state water project allocation from 15% to just 5%. Given that California's urban residents used 2.6% more water in January 2022 than they did in January 2020, many experts are calling for the governor to issue new mandatory statewide water restrictions. In our regional meetings, we are hearing that agencies should be prepared to move to a stage 2 shortage level. As outlined in our water shortage contingency plan, which the district adopted in June of 2021, some of our stage 2 requirements include restaurants only serving water when asked, the prohibition of outdoor watering during daylight hours, and enhanced customer communications. As more information becomes available, we will continue to update this board. And lastly, I have a new video ready to preview for the board. This month, our video team has been busy collecting additional B-roll footage and preparing for the launch of our new customer portal. For the launch, we are doing a short 30-second video designed for pre-roll ads and social media, and a long tutorial video that's closer to 3 minutes in length that goes into more detail and shows more of the portal's functionality. Both of those videos are very close to being finalized and will be ready for your viewing next month. And with that, here is our new spring conservation video.
Springtime.
It's nice weather.
It's fresh.
It's a good time to plant.
It's a nice time to be outdoors here in the desert.
Mission Springs Water District wants to remind customers that spring is the best time of year to replace grass with desert-friendly landscaping.
The water savings are huge.
Save money on your water bill, good for the environment.
Besides saving time and money, desert landscaping is beautiful.
We have some lush desert landscaping you can put in, different trees, cactuses, even some flowering plants.
It becomes a very beautiful yard.
Not sure where to start?
If you just look around in Desert Hot Springs, you see a lot of pretty stuff.
The district offers helpful tips and planning information on its website, mswd.org. A demonstration garden adjacent to the MSWD offices on 2nd Street shows plant options to inspire landscaping ideas. The garden is dedicated in honor of Mary Gibson, who served on the MSWD board for almost 25 years.
At our offices, we've got cactuses, flowers. We've got a pathway, different types of rock you can use.
MSWD also helps cover the cost of these projects.
Mission Springs Water District now has incentives for people who want to remove their turf and put in desert landscaping.
Through the Turf Removal Rebate Program, MSWD offers rebates of $2 per square foot for turf replacement. By starting now, plants have time to get established before the summer heat arrives.
You're not cutting the grass all summer waiting to replace it. You're not having to water that grass all summer waiting to replace it.
To learn more about turf conversions, rebates, and outdoor water saving tips, visit mswd.org.
And that concludes my report for today. Thank you very much for giving me your time today.
Yeah, Marianne, I have a question real quick on there. I don't have my calendar with me, but the Senior Inspiration Awards, I think you skipped over that, or I'm sorry.
That's going to be March 31st.
Is it March? Okay, I didn't have my calendar here. Okay, that'll be in your next report.
Yes.
Okay.
I got a question too, just on the Earth Day, did you say that was an Earth Day thing going on April 23rd?
Yes, we'll be doing it on Saturday, the 23rd.
What, do you know the times? Is it all day, one of those all day things? Or?
It's going to be most of the day. It'll start in the morning and go till I think 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
So 1, okay. That's the same day the Women's Club changed their barbecue too. So, okay. That's fine. So 1 o'clock's good, okay.
Any comments from the board? Director Duncan? No. Director Sewell? Vice President Wright?
For public comment. Oh, I do have a public, our comments.
Yeah.
I was saying, okay. The article in the newspaper, everybody saw it about water usage in the Coachella Valley. I saw it, I think it was this morning, was the first time I saw it, whether it was on yesterday or not, I don't know. Anyway, so, and it talked about Mission Springs Water District. We're one of the lowest water user per capita, gallons per day per capita in the Coachella Valley. But one thing that a little oversight is that we have a lot of swamp coolers in the Desert Hot Springs, or actually in our Mission Springs Water District. Years ago, the federal government came in and put in swamp coolers, evaporative coolers for low-income families and whatnot in houses all around the Desert Hot Springs area. And when we did some statistics on them during the last drought, those water coolers can sometimes, a lot of them can actually double the gallons per day per capita if they're used in a household for, when it's really hot and they're on all day. And we had some, I think this year and last year, we had some really hot days when I know people were turning on their swamp coolers. So I don't know, maybe we should do some education on that, but we also need to say that our 100 and I think it was 5 that they said that our average for July to January gallons per day per capita. I think some of that was because of the swamp coolers used, could very possibly be. So we need to keep that in mind and keep a track on that somewhat if we can. So that's my thought.
Under director's comments, Director Sewell, do you have any comments? No. Any comments from you, Randy?
No.
Director Gracia, any comments under director's comment?
Just to reinforce what Director Wright was saying, I actually had a swamp cooler in this trailer that I'm sitting in right now when I was parked out in the middle of the desert and had to truck water in to try to keep cool without running the air conditioning. I thought, well, how much could I use? It's certainly going to be better than having to generate all that electricity for an air conditioner. And it turned out that the one swamp cooler on a 32-foot travel trailer was using nearly 200 gallons a day. And the guys that were trucking that out there were tired of me real fast. So it's true that it's almost out of control, the usage for those things. But, you know, when people have availability, they have to make a choice, you know, between electricity or water. I think water is still cheaper. Well, maybe not now, but back then, the ability was, you know, not being able to generate enough electricity to run the air conditioning. So anyway, that's absolutely correct. And people don't understand that when they are making their decisions about how they're going to cool their houses. So there you have it.
Yeah, it used to be the opposite. Yes, you're right.
Okay, I have nothing. I skipped over district council comments. I apologize. Are we going into closed session today?
We are. So we will have a closed session. Item number 22, conference with counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D1. And that's the Padilla and Sharon Marino versus Mission Springs Water District, the class action case. Also, item number 24, conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D1. And that involves Mission Springs Water District versus Desert Water Agency. Item number 25, which is conference with legal counsel regarding pending litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D1, and that's Mission Springs versus Master Meter. And then also item 26, conference with legal counsel regarding potential initiation of litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D4. That involves one potential case. And
Okay.
we'll report out after the closed session.
All right. With that, we'll take a recess and for 5 minutes before going and then go into closed session.
We'll be quick.
I guess we can go ahead and go.
Yeah, not gonna get over it.
Now, go ahead, John.
Okay, the board met in closed session. Item number 22 was the Padilla and Sharon Marino class action case. There was no reportable action taken. Item number 24 was Mission Springs versus Desert Water Agency, no reportable action taken. Item number 25, Mission Springs versus Master Meter, no reportable action taken. And item 26 was potential initiation of litigation, one potential case, and there was no reportable action taken.
Okay, thank you, John. And with that, our meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.